On a cold, snowy highway in the early hours of February 9th, 2004, a young woman crashed her car. She emerged from the wreckage and stumbled into the dark woods nearby. And by the time the police arrived, she was gone. That day, she sent a series of increasingly frantic emails to her professors, asking for notes and extensions on upcoming assignments. And alcohol then began driving north toward the small town of Haverhill, New Hampshire. Alone, she drove through the night, seemingly without a plan, stopping only once to fill up her gas tank. And later that night, she wrote another email explaining that there had been a death in the family, so she would be gone for a few days. But there had been no death in the family. As the weeks turned into months, the police eventually concluded that Maura had run away and would never be found. But her family refused to give up hope. In the years since she disappeared, her case has inspired books, podcasts, documentaries, and dozens of theories. Some believe she faked her own death and ran away with a secret lover or to escape her life. Others think she was kidnapped by a passing motorist or a stranger she met at the bar. But there are also darker theories. Some believe that the crash was no accident and that Maura was murdered, with her body hidden somewhere in the snowy woods. Every year, on what would have been her birthday, they held a candlelight vigil, desperate for answers. Her cell phone and credit cards were never used again, and there was no indication of where she might have gone. This is the disturbing case of what happened to Maura Murray. Like, why did she drive so far into the mountains? But one thing is for sure, when she vanished into those dark and lonely woods all those years ago, she took her secrets with her. Why did she buy snacks and alcohol before crashing her car? And how did she disappear without a trace? And if you'd like to hear more, I'll see you next time. Even the police admitted that the circumstances surrounding Maura's disappearance were entirely suspicious, but they could never come up with a motive. Whoever was driving the vehicle had slammed on the brakes hard enough to lock the wheels, causing the car to skid off the road and crash. But rather than remaining at the scene, the driver fled into the darkness. Or perhaps they had never even been there at all. The police believed that Maura had intentionally crashed her car and then run away. But several days later, her family insisted that she would never have done such a thing. They believed that she had been kidnapped. In 2004, 21-year-old Maura Murray was a student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. But on the evening of February, she didn't seem like herself. Not long after, emergency services received a call about a car that had gone off the road on a sharp curve. When the neighbor went outside to investigate, they found a young woman standing next to a crashed car. The neighbor testified later that the woman told them, "I'm fine," and that she had called roadside assistance. However, when the police arrived, they discovered that the car was locked and there was no record of a call being made. The only person around was the driver, Maura Murray, who had somehow vanished into the night. Maura then packed up her car, withdrew $800 from an Amdem, stopped by a supermarket to buy snacks. At around 1:30 a.m., a local resident heard a loud bang. The scene was immediately suspicious. There were no footprints in the snow leading away from the car and no sign of a struggle or blood. Dogs lost her scent almost immediately. As the investigation continued, it became clear that this was no ordinary car crash. With no witnesses and little physical evidence, the case went cold. Today, the case is still officially open, and the mystery of what happened to Maura Murray continues to fascinate. But if you ask me, it's the little things that really make you wonder. In the end, the mystery of what happened to Maura Murray may never be solved. Thank you for listening to Last Words Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe and leave a comment with your thoughts on the case.